But when it comes to tax subsidies for private jets, we've got the money for that. When it comes to the endless appropriation towards more and more military spending, we have money for that. But we don't have money to feed our own kids. We don't have money to educate people. We don't have money to provide health care.
Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez took to the House floor yesterday and gave a speech that I think everyone needs to hear. Take a listen in.
I want to address some of the claims, because yesterday I said that we need to make sure that people get economic relief due to these shutdowns. And I was surprised to hear so many Republicans now concerned about how we're going to pay for it or using other people's money. But the Senate Majority Leader wasn't concerned about other people's money when he authorized a $4 trillion leveraged bailout for Wall Street in March. He wasn't concerned about where that money came from. He wasn't concerned about how we were going to pay for that. It is only when we are talking about relief for working people, for children, for families, for parents, for education, for healthcare, that all of a sudden we can't pay for any of these things. But when it comes to tax subsidies for private jets, we've got the money for that. When it comes to the endless appropriation towards more and more military spending, when we aren't even technically in growing elements of war, according to some people, we have money for that. But we don't have money to feed our own kids. We don't have money to educate people. We don't have money to provide health care. But we have money for private jets. We have money for tax loopholes for yachts. We have money to incentivize stock buybacks. We have $1 billion to invest in research and development for a vaccine, which was proudly invested in and a good use of public funds, just for pharmaceutical companies to take these publicly developed patents, or publicly developed drugs, rather, and then sell them back to the public at no discount so we don't even get a return on this investment. How is that fiscally responsible?
How is that fiscally responsible? This was a powerful speech, absolutely brilliant. Just a couple of things that I would like to point out. It's the language. It's her willingness to connect with the people in a way that we haven't seen a politician do in a very long time. Because people are hurting, right? She's talking about real issues. She's not even concerned if she dots every I and crosses every T, because the mission of what she's fighting for is so much more important, right? And so here she is showing the American people that she's willing to connect with them in a level of sincerity that we haven't seen in political leaders in a long time. Look at the questions. Look at the questions that come out of her organically, right? She said, how is it that we have enough money to pay for yachts, but not to feed people through the pandemic, right? We have enough money to give these obscene tax breaks to millionaires and billionaires, but we don't have enough money to feed families that are adversely affected by COVID-19, right? Our priorities in this country are misaligned. And it's not a mistake. It's just out of order. Our priorities is that we give everything to the wealthy in this country at the expense of the poor. The poor, the working class, middle class, lower middle class, those people are the ones that are generating all of this wealth that we see. And instead of taking care of the people who make this system work, we're taking care of the people who just take from this system. And this is what AOC was talking about in this clip. And I think it's time that we have more. This should not be an outlier. The way that she's speaking here should not be an outlier. It 100% should be the standard. I think that's what people fail to realize, is that we're not interested in having, one superstar who can tackle every giant and one hero or heroine who can take on any foe and who can win the White House. We're not interested. We're interested in not having one AOC. We're interested in having an entire Congress of people who will speak truth to power and power into the powerless, whether the powerful like it or not.